was dating David Bowie when you were a kid, and like you used to see him in the morning. I love that.
Looking back on those guys, they had some pretty extreme shit going on.
Have you seen Bowie at all, like recently?
I haven't seen him. I talked to him a few years ago.
Is he so proud of you? Did he recognize at the time when he was living with you and your mom?
Well,
did he recognize you were a great musician?
We had a bad experience where he went to a gun show in L.A.
What happened?
And Axl berated him. And David was with my mom, and for some reason Axl got it into his head that he was after Aaron. And so from the stage...
Aaron, his girlfriend?
His girlfriend back then. And
Axl was so delusional, he thought Bowie wanted
so then he tripped, and so I think David just went...
Was David backstage when he got berated?
He was in the balcony in the front of the stage.
And so from the stage, Axl was berating Bowie. And what did he say to Bowie from the stage?
I can't remember, but whatever it was, he genuinely felt threatened.
Wow.
So it was a very uncomfortable kind of thing.
Isn't Bowie one of the greatest artists we have?
He's great.
He really is.
He's phenomenal.
Where is he now? You don't want... What is he
He's fat.
doing?
He doesn't want to be seen.
No.
That's what I heard.
Last I heard, he was working on a movie or something.
Have you seen him? I heard he got fat and he doesn't want anyone to see him.
I haven't seen him.
But, I mean, who knows? Well, I mean, it's crazy. He's got to come out and say hello to
So how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Hey, I'm a judge now on America's Got Talent.
Actually, last night I was in my room and I was flipping channels and I saw these guys with these sticks.
Right.
Nailing themselves in the balls, and
I believed how great that is.
And then I saw you, and you looked like you were having a good time.
Oh my
Sharon
God.
looked completely beside herself.
Yeah, right.
And I saw this thing, and I was like, and they're jumping off of one of the shoulders or something onto
a board.
And the dude wears no cup. Did you think that was the funniest thing you ever saw?
No, it was very unsettling. I only watched about 45 seconds of it.
Really?
I have the whole like I was talking to George about that earlier. I said I thought that was the greatest thing ever. It was funny, like
you don't
Jackass.
get into all that Jackass stuff?
It reminds me of my BMXing days.
Yeah.
It's a little unnerving. I went to go see the first Jackass, and I remember sitting there going, God, that reminds me of when I was like 15 years old, 14 years old.
What do you think of I mean, you must be an Aerosmith fan. I can't imagine you're not.
I knew this was coming.
Well, I'm kind of curious. When Steven is now a judge on American Idol, and he's also doing Burger King commercials.
That's crazy.
Is that crazy to you, or how do you feel about it?
Well, the Burger King commercial doesn't faze me now because he'd already done the American Idol thing. Right. And I think initially when he signed on to do American Idol, I'm a huge Aerosmith fan and friends with all those guys.
Right.
And it was sort of like, putting the band aside to do this own personal feed of whatever it was.
Right.
And so I was very sort of anti that whole thing, and then I realized, it's whatever he's got to do whatever makes him happy.
But did it remind you of Axl again, because here's the lead singer putting his needs ahead of the band's needs?
I think that was the general feeling at the time at first, but then...
And as someone in a band, you don't understand that. You should put the band's needs in front of your own.
That's the thing, is you get into that kind of headspace where you're looking at what he's doing, but in talking to Joe about it, I know there was some tension there for a minute, but they worked it out, and you can't worry about what other people.
Has it been good for Aerosmith in a way? They say their record sales went up, and
new audience.
I'm sure that it works, and
but a credibility
they've got a new album coming out. I think the most important thing, as long as you're producing new material.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you want to go fuck around doing this, and as long as you're working something. The thing that bugs me is just getting, in this day and age right now, the big thing is just getting famous for absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I mean, these kind of shows do make you famous for not having... And you'd be the first one to say, you know how much hard work we put into Guns N' Roses? Like, before you guys popped, you were hanging around in the shittiest places.
And still, I mean, there's always, work going on as far as, producing new material and this and that and the other, and so no matter how visible you are, as long as you have something that's going on to back you up, but if you're just walking around looking for attention and you're not promoting something, you're just hey.
Well, have you done any of those shows?
I did American Idol you did
a duet with him,
a mentor thing, and Adam Lambert. It was the only time that I ever watched American Idol. Somebody called me up and said, "You got to check out this singer. He's really good."
He is good.
And I went and I watched him for a couple nights, and he was phenomenal. So I had a friend, somebody I work with, that his wife works down at CBS, and so I went down there to go see him in person, and they said, you got to come on the show and do it. And I was like, no, I can't do it.
Right.
It's the Antichrist,
Yeah, right.
And they talked me into it. And I was, and at that time I was in the studio working on an album, so I didn't even have anything coming out,
Were you happy you did it?
It was okay. I mean, it was an
experience. Do you worry that Axl's sitting somewhere going, look at him, he's on American? Do you ever think, like, what does Axl think?
No, if I was to be concerned with that, it'd drive me crazy.
You do nothing.
But they said, you can do it however you want to do it, and we'll facilitate it for you. So we did it at the Roxy.
Right.
And they had to get on stage and sort of do it in this club kind of vibe. But Adam was singing, so it was cool.
Right.
But it was not something, it was an interesting experience. It's not something I'd want to create as my day job.
Yeah. And in a strange...